Absolute Batman number 11 is amazing. It's even better than the last issue. And that one was already wild. Let's talk about it. This issue is mostly one long monologue from Alfred, but a lot happens. But the way this opens up is Alfred says, "I should have warned you. I tried. I almost managed it. We were in the Batmobile crossing the bay to that terrible place, and I started to tell you about him. But when you turned to me, I just froze and wished you good luck instead. Good luck like an old fool." Now, of course, what he's talking about here, as you guys likely remember, is when Bruce Wayne is getting ready to go directly into Arkham, which is basically Arkham Asylum, but out there in the ocean, where they're conducting experiments, which will inevitably lead him into encountering the now modified Juan Jones, his friend who's been transformed into absolute Killer Croc. And so Alfred continues on. "The truth is, I was afraid maybe just of naming him, making him real, conjuring him up. But now he's here, and he's coming for you at this very moment. Wherever you are, kid, I am sorry. And so, this is what I should have told you that night. It's the story of Bane and how he breaks your back. Now, this is the crazy thing, right? This is what's so nuts, because keep in mind, Alfred doesn't know everything that had gone on inside of Arkham. So here's what he says, right? It begins on the island called Santa Prisca. A boy is born amid the fighting, but there's always fighting here. The people threw off the Spanish, the French, and the Dutch, but the island is rich with things that the world wants. The boy's father is a rebel leader. His group has been fighting for Santa Prisca's freedom for over 100 years. His grandfather led it, then his father, and now him. The group's flag shows Santa Prisca's national bird, the royal quetzal, a species that dies in captivity, rising high into the sky. One day soon, the boy's father tells him, "When we have one piece, that bird will fly free. Can you see it, my boy?" Like his father, the boy loves the island with every cell in his body. So he closes his eyes and tries, but no vision comes. "Yes, father," he says, "I see it." Now, what's really crazy about all this is that it's very reminiscent of just guerrilla warfare tactics, because that's what they are, right? Kind of hiding in fields, pot shots here and there, things like that. But as they're making their way through here, there's a massive explosion that goes off, right? And so what it says is, one night the boy eats jojoba seeds in hopes of seeing his father's vision. He stares at the flag, but instead of the quetzal, he sees a terrible bird, white and burning with a back like a skull, and he wakes screaming. Years pass. The boy trains, studies, and the group makes inroads under his planning. One Tuesday, they take the capital. They hold it for 3 days. "The moment is here," says his father. But on the 4th day, foreign troops are sent in, and the rebellion is crushed. So, this is a tragic story, right? Bane has known nothing but war and conflict. And so, Alfred continues on. The surviving members of this group are sentenced to life in Penilla Duro, an infamous prison off Santa Prisca's coast. The boy and his father among them. 1 year passes, then 2. Still, the boy's father is hopeful. Peace will be won. He says they will never break us. Every night, the cold tide floods the cells to the very tops, forcing the inmates to fight for small, gasping breaths among the dead things washing in and out. The boy learns how to sleep, hanging from the cage roof. He learns to pick jigger fleas from his skin in the morning. He eats rats for sustenance. One day, a computer is smuggled in. A picture of an actual quetzal is pinned in the screen, and the boy is horrified at how small the bird is, how weak-looking it is. "The quetzal will fly," says the father. "We will not break." Now, here's the thing about this, right? As this story continues on, I want you to keep that statement in mind, right? That Bane looks at this bird and realizes how small and weak it is, because I would argue that is the moment that changed everything. And so continuing on here, right? Alfred says, 3 years pass, and then 4. Some men do break, turn on the father. The boy fights them off. 6 years pass, and then 7. "Can you see it?" says his father at night, hanging from the bars next to him, the bird flying free. 8 years pass, and then 9. The boy closes his eyes and remembers his own bird, the one made of white fire, the skull of its back. "Yes, father," he says. Now, Scott Snyder is borrowing very heavily from what we know with Bane's origin in the main DC universe, right? But instead of Bane seeing a bat and believing that Batman's defeat is his destiny, he's kind of forging his own symbol here. And so, one of the things to keep in mind is that while Batman and Killer Croc are basically figuring out how to handle Bane, that Bane himself had actually left Arkham and traveled directly to Gotham City. And that's the crazy thing, because he's a man on a mission. Now, to kind of sidetrack his origin with him showing up in Gotham, it goes exactly the way that you think it would, right? That there's a curfew patrol car reporting in that the streets are clear to Union, right? They're basically keeping the city under lockdown. But then these poor bastards run into Bane, right? And he literally grabs one of these guys with one hand. And I mean, just as a frame of reference, keep in mind how big Bane is. One hand is enough to completely engulf this guy's body, and Bane crushes it with his bare hand. Just his hand crushes this whole guy's body. The dude's a giant. And then the other guys turn around and they're demolished. And when I say demolished, I mean they never had a chance. Bane leaves them broken, bleeding, and dead. And then Alfred picks back up again. Do you get it yet, kid? Do you see what he is? I'll go faster, because he's coming for you. Can you feel the ground shaking beneath his boots? The air bending around his teeth? He's almost there. And so he says, after 11 years in Peñaduro, the boy, who's now a man, and the other fighters put a plan in motion. Weapons are made from dried fish guts, the tails of sea roaches, and under the boy's leadership, they do the unthinkable, and they take the prison. Rumors are that the island has changed hands again and conditions have gotten worse. New things are coveted from the island. Rare earth elements on the bedrock. The men storm the beach. It's only when they secure the boats that they stop to look up. No one has seen the sky for over a decade. And so as they climb inside, the boy's father gives him something. A mask made of the flag itself. You are the Quetzal, my son, he says. You are the bird of our vision, of peace. Today is the day. He's crying, though he hides the tears beneath his cap. Yes, says the boy. And so as they cross the bay, all that he can think about is the fighting ahead. He has multiple strategies to take the beach, then the capital. But as they near the shore, the boy sees no tanks and no troops, just a man in white standing in the sunshine. And you guys know who this is, right? Welcome home, says the man, calling the boy by his name. I have an offer for you. From across the beach, the boy's father watches as his son talks with this strange man. Maybe it's his grin or the way he jokes with the boy, but never laughs. The women with him too. The father could swear he sees things moving in their bellies. The father is just about to intervene when the boy abruptly ends the conversation. Whatever the man was offering, it is over. And with that, the man in white smiles, tips his hat, and leaves. So clearly, this is absolute Joker right now. This is not absolute Joker. As we know him, who's this twisted, grotesque person? But Alfred's actually going to address that, right? Alfred Pennyworth is going to talk about the nature of absolute Joker to a degree, but kind of focusing on this origin again. And this is why I say Bane's perception of that weak bird is so important, that Alfred says, a powerful sense of relief washes over the father as the man's helicopter flies away, a shadow lifting. The father takes a deep breath. In this moment, he wants only to hug his son. He has never felt a love so deep. And so he does. And the boy hugs him back. Can you see it, father? Says the boy. Your dream of peace. I see it, says the father. I see it in you. And in that moment, Bane kills his dad. It's patricide, right? He kills his father on the spot. And that's where Alfred says this is where our true records of him start. A diplomat's plane explodes. A journalist is slain. Pirates are slaughtered. This is where the figure known as Bane emerges. A shape forming, a constellation drawn between unsolved murders. A bird in the shape of a skull, its tail made of teeth. Now, this is where things get really cool, because one of the big questions that a lot of you guys have had is, how does the Venom serum work for Bane? Well, we get this explanation, right? Alfred says, our intel suggests that the venom running through his veins is a mixture of acids, proteins, compound activators, and cytokines. It gives him total control over his own muscles, his very cells bent to his will. But even more astounding is the way it enhances his mind. Before there was only so much he could learn, but now suddenly he can hold books, whole libraries in his head. Every method of fighting he knows, every weapon he knows, every battle from ancient times to now he knows, from the strategies of Sumerian warrior kings to the most current algorithmic doctrine. And he is here for you, Bruce. He could be right outside your door at this very moment, And that's where Bane says, "It is time, little one." Because here's the cool thing about this, right? While Alfred's telling this whole backstory again, Bane is a man on a mission hunting for Batman. And the crazy thing about all this, right? That one of the things that Scott Snyder is doing so well is keeping Bane's intelligence intact. It's one of the things about his character outside of comic books that is abandoned so frequently, right? People just ignore the idea that Bane is so incredibly smart. And so in this moment, Bane catches up to Batman. And what follows is probably the most spectacular ass-whooping in the history of comics. And Batman ain't the one doing it. Because what Alfred says here is he says, "I know you by now, kid, well enough to understand that you will fight. And you will have a plan too. You'll have a good plan just like the plans he drew up when he was that boy back on Santa Prisca. A plan based on your knowledge of this place because this is your home. Gotham as the island was his. So fight him. Let him get in the first hit. Get him feeling confident, cocky even. So he'll advance to that spot right where you want him. Now yell something about how he'll never take this city or welcome to Gotham. Give him just enough time to realize what's happening. How you've beaten him, lured him into a lot full of parked vehicles rigged with explosives, and set off the bat bombs. Watch as it all explodes and that Bane's destroyed, only to find out he's not and he is still coming for you. Because Bane crushes Batman. I mean, if you thought the fight they had originally was a fight, no, that was Bane toying with him. This is Bane when he's incensed and nothing Batman does can hurt this guy. And Alfred says that, right? He says, "You cannot win, kid." And this is one of the hardest lines, the most perfect description of Bane I've ever heard, right? There's no plan of attack that he has not studied, no strategy that he does not know. But more than this, he knows you because he was you. When he was that boy on Santa Prisca fighting his heart out, planning, building, strategizing for what? For peace. No, because what Bane does in that moment is he tears Batman's arm off, right? And Alfred says he has become the bird from his vision so long ago. Not his father's Quetzal, but the terrible burning thing from the night in the jungle, the white skull bird. And that's why Bane says things like, "Open your mind," right? After like removing Batman's arm, which really he did it by just using his own axe and cutting it off. It's all the same, right? He says, "Open your eyes." In the same way that his father kind of told him, "Can you see it? Can you see what's really happening, Bruce? That you never had a chance in the first place." And that's why Alfred says now, years later, he finally understands it. He knows what it is, he knows what that bird is. The creature that appears in almost every culture across time. Ancient Egypt, China, the firebird. It is the great phoenix, the fire through which men are burned and reborn, the fire of war. Bane is its greatest disciple, a monument to it. For what is war if not our highest calling? When man climbed from the mud 500,000 years ago, pink and soft in a world of claws and teeth, he should have been killed instantly. But what saved him? His ability to fight, to conquer. Hell, all life is a war story. Right now, plants are strangling each other for sunlight. Every living thing is locked in combat. Peace. Peace is death. War is life. And literally, in this moment when Bane has the axe of Batman and is lording over him with it, Batman starts begging, right? And Bane just says, "I said open your eyes." And Bane just starts smashing him in the face, right? Smashing him in the head with his own axe. And literally, Alfred says, "So look up, Bruce, what do you see? Because it is not a bat." And it never was. And so after just this merciless beatdown and having cut off both of Bruce Wayne's arms, Bane grabs Batman and throws him onto a boat and takes him back to Arkham. And Alfred continues on. He says, "Sometimes I try to imagine what the man in white said to him on the beach that day. The man I've been chasing all these years. The man made of stories. The first one appearing so long ago about a child dressed as a clown in a Gotham alley. The man who never laughs, who haunts the world. They say he grows new teeth every day. They say he has another face. I can almost hear his pitch. Picture him standing before you in the sunshine, handsome as an angel, and his hand outstretched. You can keep fighting like this." He says, "It's your choice. Maybe you'll take the city again. Maybe you'll take the whole island. Maybe your peace will last long enough for you to have a son, for you to watch him walk this very beach. But you know in your heart as I do that war will come for the island again. But there is another way. Close your eyes and see it." Because in that moment, Batman is prepped for surgery. And so it continues on this imagined conversation between Absolute Joker and Bane, the way that Alfred pictures it. Picture Santa Prisca thriving. Picture schools with computers and tablets. Picture roads, hospitals, jobs. I can make it so with one phone call. Can you see it though? You're home peaceful and free. And the boy finally could. From what we know, most subjects die from the procedure that you are undergoing, Bruce. The operation kills them or the venom itself. But you're tough just like him. It's part of his job bringing in subjects that they can make into warriors in his image, who work for the man in white and his allies. We know of one in Russia they call the KG Beast. Another in the Middle East and one I know too well codenamed Deathstroke. None have been able to survive the full procedure as he did, but each was transformed into something new. You, though, he sees himself in you. He thinks that you could be the first one to do it worthy of the mask. The bird with the skull across its back. They say the devil knocks 3 times, and this is your second chance, kid. Picture it, he says to you, Bruce. Picture Gotham thriving, an island gleaming and bright. Now and then, Bane returns to Santa Prisca to see his family. The island is prospering. He sees children walking to school without fear, sees men and women riding electric bikes to work, students sitting in a cafe laughing. An old couple walks holding hands. They smile at him when he passes. He has a wife and children. They run to him when he comes home because they know even if they do not understand what he is or what he does, they know he has made this place thrive. This is the story that I should have told you, kid, because it's the story they want for you. It's what he's offering to become the hero Gotham needs. And Batman with all these modifications looks insane. Here's the kicker behind it all. None of this happened because Alfred is imagining it all. This is what he pictures happening when Batman tries to confront Bane because he says, for it to work, you have to break, kid. Or rather, to choose to break like he did. You have to break your own back in offering it up. But you won't though, will you? You're still out there somewhere unbroken, safe for now. I know it and he knows it too. That's why he did not go to your door when he came to the city of Gotham looking for you. Instead, he went to theirs because he knows the real way to break you is by breaking your friends. This issue is one of the best Bane stories ever. The writing is amazing, the art by Mann is incredible, and the storytelling is deep and powerful. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.